Day, of course, we're not here yesterday. We observed a day recess. So it's a full house in the studio, and yes, sitting just next to me is it's called Sports Apostle. Is a very popular voice on radio. Boya Adegboyega, are you welcome to the show?
A pleasure to be here, Moses. And just as you said, our duty here is to talk sports.
Yes,
that's exactly what we're here.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And of course, also Mr. Olayinka, Abiola, are you welcome?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here, and it's a joy to join the team to look into the world of sport and talk football.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a lot to unpack, and we have to start with Stanley Nwabali, parting ways with Chippa United. Well, he terminated his contract, and now he's a free agent. We don't know where he's headed. Let me start with Bayo Adegboyega. We've always known that leave South Africa, perhaps go to Europe. Is it that time?
Absolutely, because if you take a look at Nwabali's trajectory, you will definitely agree with me that he's done enough to earn, a move to a bigger club. Chippa United is not even the biggest club side in South Africa. If he were to be on the books of maybe Mamelodi Sundowns or Orlando Pirates, maybe we would say, okay, it's still worth it and you can still remain there. But with Chippa United, I feel, having been with the Super Eagles, for 2 consecutive AFCON, I think it's time for him to move on to another team, certainly.
Okay, so we don't know where he's headed.
I've got privileged information because it feels like, I don't know if it is still on the table. Nwabali got a deal, with a club in Europe. He wanted, in Zambia at first. So Chippa United wanted a certain amount of money. The Zambian club were not ready to pay. Nwabali, had a discussion with the management of Chippa United. Okay, guys, you're making money, just allow me go. But since they were proven difficult, just as we saw in the case with Atalanta and Lukman when he wanted to go to Inter Milan, and that is why he decided to terminate. So it's more likely that something is in the pipeline for the goalkeeper.
Okay, Mr. Abiola, where would you like to see Nwabali?
Yes, sir, thank you. I was so glad when I heard the information that he took the decision himself, because from the situation of things, you will see that Nwabali is a kind of goalkeeper that is lacking identity. If you look at the kind of stuff that he has, a club like Chippa United will not allow him to come to a scene that he's supposed to be. And if you look at it, there are players that are advantageous to the team. It is not the team that is advantageous to them. If you look at Nwabali happened to be a keeper that is like a plus to Chippa United. Now it is time for him to get his identity, move out, let big clubs come for him. In fact, initially when I heard about Zambia club, also I didn't like it. I was praying that such will not even happen. I believe one of the big clubs in Europe, even if it's not big club, one of the clubs should get onto Nwabali so that we have more identity to prove himself. So I'm happy for the development.
Well, it's all about identity. Nwabali finding an identity, and we hope, why not? We expect to see him in Europe. Our #1 goalkeeper should play in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. That would be the expectation. Okay, now let's talk some local football. Cool Khalifa's withdrawal return to MPFL within hours. But it came as a shock. I've always known how difficult it is, for privately owned clubs, to be in the league, particularly in the MPFL, when you have to travel. The logistics definitely not cheap. And this time around, I think they are still in the relegation zone. I don't know why they didn't sell the slot. But what's even more shocking, the fact that they put out a statement withdrawing from the league hours after they returned. I don't know, but I don't feel that doesn't seem right to me. It does not put the league in the right framework. So anybody can just withdraw, then hours after they say, oh, we are back again in the MPFL.
I think it behoves on the league organizers to do what I call due diligence ahead of every season, before the commencement of the season, don't just go out there to inspect facilities. There should be a budget. Put it to these teams that want to play in the top division. That's the least football division in Nigeria. Let them understand that you need to have at least, let's say for instance, 300 million naira in your account, for you to prosecute games. It is not cheap to play in the MPFL. And I feel like Kun Khalifat, it's really going to do them a lot of good if they go back to relegation, where they came from, because it's obvious they do not have what it takes, to continue prosecuting games. It is you bringing the game into disrepute, putting the MPFL in the news, for bad reasons. And I think there should be sanctions. You can't just come up someday and say, okay, I want to pull out because officiating is not going my way. I want to pull out because I feel like I can no longer sustain the momentum. What were you thinking of when you decided to go play playoff, to promote to the top division? So I feel a lot still needs to be done. It is an ill wind that is blowing the league no good. It is not just right. Not right.
Okay, well, Mr. Abiola, do you share your same sentiment?
Seriously. You see, as a matter of fact, what the club had done is like embarrassing the league. Of course, you may be facing internal problems, a lot of things, because you are not having what it takes to be in the league. But it doesn't worth it for you to come and embarrass the whole league like that you are not, you are withdrawing. See, there should be standard for everything. The league, there are do's and don'ts. And whether you have capacity or you don't have capacity, you have been promoted in the first place. So if you are not going to be able to cope, you should have said it from the onset. Not that all of a sudden you just come, you say, in my own thinking, they are coming back, shouldn't have even be allowed in the first place. They are supposed to be wedged with serious case on their head for doing what they have done. And you see, that's what we are talking about, the standard of our football. In Africa, down here, anything can happen. You see the way this Khalifa club behaves, as if we are above anybody, we can do and we can undo at any time. It's not done. It's not done.
So,
it's very bad.
But should they be sanctioned for putting the league in disrepute, or maybe it should be swept under the carpet? They are back, and the league should just, the league body should overlook this.
I think the tone of the second correspondence is what the MPFL will deal with. I think it comes in such a way that Kun Khalifat, came out to say that no, we never pulled out. It was a case of miscommunication. It was just a situation of some people not understanding what happened. Although financial constraints is one major challenge for the team, it has not been established. But I feel they should be sanctioned. But allow them enough time, to pay the sanction. Don't make it as a matter of immediacy, because it seems that it's struggling, to travel to games.
They are first from the bottom.
So when you just manage them to the relegate, I think
the owners are looking at it. Okay, we are down already. It seems we are relegating, and we still have to be spending so much money on logistics. It's a league. It doesn't matter.
If I were part of the management of Kun Khalifat FC, relegation is starting. I now look at the quality of players I have, look at the number of games left, and how I can market my top players. Ensure we give our best in the rest of the games, and do a kind of follow-up, a push-up, proper publicity for your top players. So that at the end of the season, you move 2-3 players, let's say you move one outside the country, 2 others move to a different club size in Nigeria, and you make money. You can even recoup everything you've spent if you are lucky enough to sell a player outside Nigeria. That should be the focus now. And it helps to plan for what is coming next season. Relegate, go play the NNL, but you've made money.
I think after the program, I should link you up with Kun Khalifat chairman. But Mr. Abiola, I think currently we have 3 private teams in the league. Barao FC, well, they are doing fairly well. At least there are no relegation threatened. Then Remo Stars, also the relegation zone, and now Kun Khalifat. I mean, it doesn't look good when I see private teams struggling, because we have a league where, so which means the
there
other
is also
17
Ikorodu
teams.
City.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. So Ikorodu City, just 4 out of 20. So what does this say about private investment?
Yes, I think my brother has said something very important. You see, for a club coming from somewhere, you are coming into a league, you know you need stability. You don't joke with the commercial aspect. You have said it, they are not coming to win the league. They know already just to come and participate very well. Then what can I overlook? What can I do away with? So that the remaining 1 year can be able to make us to stand. You are not saying that you are not competing to win the league. You are not saying you want to conference. You are not saying you want to be in top 4. What we are saying is that you want to stabilize your team in this current league. So what do? Don't joke with the commercial aspect. So when you don't joke with the commercial aspect, the financial state of the club will not be in jeopardy. Then the participation of that very club in the league will be sacrosanct to the management of the league, and everything will be going fine. Look at that Barao FC. I saw them on the table, though they are not that they are doing fine. But if you look at that team now, they have come to stay. And the aspect I think they shouldn't joke with is the commercial aspect. When you have assets, look at how you can maximize it. It's not that when you have a player, the player must stay with you by force. If you know this one will give you commercial value, that is okay, then let's go of it. Then you stay, there will always be another chance. There will be a time when you will come and you want to compete to win the league. So,
Bayo, the complaint has always been, the MPFL is not commercial enough because these private clubs are not, the money they make is not even enough, for logistics. So everyone depends on want to sell players to foreign clubs and make money. And we know it's not that easy.
Absolutely.
It's not ABC. We are just getting to that point where at least Remo Stars, we've seen them sell some players to maybe foreign directly. So maybe that will change. But also not easy selling players and making good money.
Absolutely, I agree. But I feel like if I own a club, it is not a must to play in the MPFL. We should get that right. You are playing in the NNL, you've got the opportunity to secure promotion, and it's a calculated risk. Look at it. How much do you have? Can you raise money? Can you compete with the big boys? What I mean the big boys, you know what I mean? Absolutely you cannot. So what happens to you selling your slots? The league gives room for that, although you will not come out in public to say that, oh, I have sold this slot for 400 million. Although someone like me, I do not support selling of slots. But if you would be putting or you'll be embarrassing the league, then do away with the slots. Let another team that is ready, pick it up, make your money and continue.
But we need more private teams, in the league.
But it's
because other private teams will look at this and feel like, oh, we cannot cope. It is too expensive to participate.
Remo Stars is competing.
But currently we know the problem. They are relegation threatened as we speak.
That's based on results. Facilities, remuneration, Remo Stars still very stable and solid. They do not have issues, in that regard. All they need to do this season is escape relegation, which I think is very possible. It is possible for them to come back next season and compete again. That's the beauty of the MPFL. What has led to Remo Stars, struggling this season? We know two things. Lost a lot of quality players, failed to replace most of them. Their coach, Dan Ogumodo, was majorly with the national team. 2025, 2026, it's not really been stable, and that certainly affected the team. So once they are able to manage it, wiggle it out, and escape relegation this season, they will bounce back because
let me put in on that, my brother. See, I somehow differ on the fact that if you cannot stay, you can sell your slot. I will never belong to that school of thought. I believe every one of them is there to compete. Look at Remo Stars that we are talking about. They have not been like that before. Though money was pumped. Look at what they did last season or the other before they sold their player.
But we are looking at sustenance now.
Yes.
Why are you saying the Remo Stars won the league last season? Yes. But now they are relegation threatened.
They are relegation threatened. But I want you to know that Remo Stars have to stay. But even if they have gone to the relegation, we will still be talking about the commercialization of Remo Stars. Because presently money is involved already. They've sold a lot of players, they receive funds.
You just one out of the rest.
Exactly. Califat will never get to the level of Remo Stars in terms of commercial value.
Even Barao
they will never.
I will now suggest that those clubs will leave The league?
If you cannot play, leave. It is simple. See, this is a league, a full-fledged professional league. This is the biggest we've got in Nigeria. And that's why we say the coefficient is dropping season in, season out. You know, you come up this season, after match day 10, you're already complaining that you no longer have the financial capability. Who sent you to complete the league at the first instance? If you cannot compete, don't come at all. It is that simple.
Now let me come like this. If they didn't come, the number of clubs that are coming up now, what will happen to them if we don't have a way of encouraging them? That is where one thing that was raised the other time, we'll go back to the NPFL itself. What are they doing? You see, when you talk about such club coming, there should be a kind of encouragement given to them so that they will be able to say, you can't say the way you treat a club that has been staying for 4 or 5 years.
Mr. Bella, that leads us to commercialization. Currently, is there any title sponsor? So if we want to go into that, then we spend the next 1 hour discussing the league, the league itself. I always know that the game changer will be when everything is privately owned. I feel that's the game changer.
And when you are privately owned,
the Ofedola, the big companies can own clubs.
Not just myself and yourself.
And maybe when government can just support behind the scenes.
We can start from somewhere. As much as I don't like what the club had done, the punishment should be given to them, like you have said.
The club failed to honor a match.
Yes, I know.
You can't take, maybe they didn't have the money. I'm sure they've spent a lot.
Yeah.
So if you are sanctioning them again, asking them to pay maybe 3 million, 4 million naira, where would they get the money?
That could
so either you overlook
or
you let them withdraw.
There is proportion to everything. If you are giving them a sanction that will rather kill the club or make them to go into extinction, we will know that it is the management of the league.
But as it stands now, there is no favorable sanction that can be given to Kun Khalifat.
Absolutely.
There is no favorable. Why you want to sanction a club, you have to find them either 1 million, 2 million naira, but the club will tell you there is no money. From Imo State, they travel to Borno by road. They travel to Bauchi, by road.
But
it's money.
I hope the league management should give them a kind of opportunity to stay. They can be punished.
Okay. How will they punish their games? How should they be punished?
How should they be punished? Okay. Well, let's leave it.
While I'm looking at the inclusiveness, you can see what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
I don't want us to say because this one has done bad, you remove it,
exactly.
And we don't know what RFC will do.
So maybe the NPFL may have just overlooked, and maybe verbal warning. I don't do that.
You and I know that they will do it again because obviously, as they are, they do not have the financial, muscle.
Okay, well, let's move on. NPFL fixtures for this weekend. Quickly, let's have it on the screen. Insurance, we host Enyimba. Kano Pillars will welcome Remo Stars, Abia Warriors versus Enugu Rangers. Ikorodu City will entertain Niger Tornadoes. It's Kun Khalifat at home to Shooting Stars. Nasarawa United versus the Bayelsa United. Plateau United will play Kwara United. Thank you so much. Warrior Wolves versus Academy Warrior. The Wicked Tourists will be welcoming Katsina United. So, Apostle, which game stands out for you?
Certainly it has to be the Oriental derby between Abia Warriors and of course Enugu Rangers. It's happening in Umuahia, and this is a game of two brothers. Abia Warriors in their last 4 games dropped some points. Rangers, gradually also returning to where they belong. But of course, it's Coach Imama versus Chidele Silechuku right there at the Potato Pitch in Umuahia. So it promises to be very, very interesting. But of course, we will be keeping tabs on Kano Pillars versus Remo Stars because more like a relegation battle at this point in time. Remo Stars need the points, Kano Pillars need the points. So who comes out top in this one? Time will only say. But this is the time for Remo Stars to start racking up the points because, I've got to be sentimental because we cannot afford to have Remo Stars go back to relegation. That's the only thing we've got in the Premier League. Okay, I want to see this game between Kun Khalifat FC and Shooting Stars as well. After returning to the league, they've got one game at home against Shooting Stars, and this one, also promises to be quite interesting. Shooting, they've got a target this season. They may not be saying it publicly. I feel Shooting Stars want to finish in the top 4. I feel that's the plan, and they've really done well in the last couple of games. So this time around, a game against Kun Khalifat FC, I see them getting at least a point away from home.
Okay, let's see how that pans out. And Mr. Biola, very quickly, for Kano Pillars, despite the restructuring, Ahmed Musa coming, the general manager, everything in Kano Pillars, they are still struggling. So, but which match will stand out for you?
As a matter of fact, I've been looking at that Kano Pillar and they must start. Because of what you are saying, because of the restructuring of their management. Yeah. I read something about it last week and I was looking at it that it should be, though they are from the north, you can look at it, but it should be a kind of team that can become glory for Nigerian club side. So I wish, but if you look at them, they are there to play. Then another one, the Kun Califat. I want to see how they react. Because you looking at it now, they are under pressure. Let's see what they can come up with. I would love to see that too and see what happened. If I have made up my mind, I will see how I can lay my hands on that particular match to see the Kun Califat and Shooting Stars. Okay, well, you have to go to Imo State. You have to see it live. Well, but a match you can actually see live in Abeokuta tomorrow at that Falconet against Senegal. Yes, right here in Abeokuta, the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. That's where it will be happening. Nigerians Falconets are set to face Senegal in Abeokuta. That's our next film item. Bayo, from Ibadan to Abeokuta.
Dividends of Ogun State hosting the National Sports Festival already, paying up. We talked about what happens after the National Sports Festival. Our sports facilities witnessed a massive overhauling prior to the festival. But after the festival, we've seen events come to Abeokuta, and we are enjoying it. Well, I'm just pained that about 5 billion naira was set to have been spent on the Lake Salami Stadium in Adama Singba in Ibadan. And just barely months after, it cannot even host the elite game again because Shooting Stars no longer play there. Remo Stars were meant to be playing their games there. They were moved to the Sam Ogbomida Stadium in Benin City. Now the Falconets, have to come to Abeokuta. Well, kudos to the state government, for putting this one in place. We can always do better. That is one thing I know. And at least we have something on ground. So Falconets preparation, they had a friendly game against the state team of Oyo State. That's the festival team. 15 years. As one was asking me why should Falconets be playing this kind of friendly, see, just put yourself in shape. It might even help them because they scored a lot of goals, and that might just go with them to absolutely. But certainly we're expecting the Falconets to be Senegal.
And this is coming at the right time, Mr. Biola, amidst the celebrations Ogun at 50. So at 4 p.m. tomorrow, people can go into the stadium and watch that game and cheer Falconets to victory.
It's a big plus. It's a big plus for Ogun State to host the Falconets. The last match the Falcon played at Gateway International Stadium, I was opportune to watch it, and it was marvelous. The pitch simply world class. I watched the match. I marveled at what I saw, and I think that will be the criteria that they will see for bringing such match to Ogun State. But by and large, we are going to see the dividend of that coming down. But the publicity for this very match is not enough. I must say that categorically. The publicity Ogun State has given the match is below standard.
That's the NFF publicizing.
It is even Ogun State coming to bail out the NFF.
Wait. As much as we bail out the NFF the last time that Falcon played, I know what Ogun State did. Concerning the match.
But this I know
it was tremendous. Even at Lafiawa Market, they were publicizing the match.
Ogun State was not meant to host this. What it happened, they shifted it. It happened this week. So given the time frame,
it's like Ogun State giving the NFF a lifeline.
Very unfortunate for your state government. This same Adama Stadium was heavily spent on And I don't expect this kind of thing to happen.
Well, they said they are working on the pitch.
What happened to what they've worked before, the money they spent before? It was inaugurated by the governor, everybody. In fact, it was marvelous that day, everything was beautiful.
But even that day, we knew it was
obvious now.
It was obvious.
Because of the rain.
Because of the rain, it was obvious.
I think the rain exposed the whole thing.
They even had leaky roofs. If
you look at the political side of things,
after spending 5 billion.
Yes.
Well, they said they are working on the pitch, so we hope Lagos will be back.
They played a football friend, a birthday friendly a couple of days ago.
But for now,
Governor Makinde scored.
Yeah. In the meantime, Falconet will play here in Abeokuta tomorrow. So why not come around and watch beautiful football? Okay, now let's quickly move to Saudi Arabia.